right? So I am going to pick a movie because I'm a comic book nerd as well as a movie nerd. And so I'll add my Guardians of the Galaxy here. And then if we click on genres, so pick whatever movie you wish, and then click on genres, click here to select categories. This is how to add a category. Okay. Now, if you're like me, and I don't know if this is left-brained or right-brained or what, but if you're like me, whenever I go to add the category, I want to click on the name of the category. My developers thought that it would be better to click on the little green plus sign to the left-hand side. So if I want to actually add the categories, you have to click on the green left-hand side here, the little green plus sign. If you actually click onto the name of any one of these, then you're actually digging down into biography to see if there is a subset of biography movies that you could add. You can always go back and get out of here by clicking on top level over here. Okay, so there's only one category that actually has a third level down below, and that is sci-fi. So if you type in sci, you could click search, and then I could click the name of sci-fi here and then get sci-fi subset movies. So there's apocalyptic sci-fi, space opera sci-fi, space western sci-fi, cyberpunk. I never knew there was so many different types of sci-fi until I went to the categories on imdb.com. And then I could add those, right? And then I could add the sci-fi top level. I could add sci-fi here as well, SCI, as well as the subset. I'm still searching that. There we go. Sci, search. I could add that as well. Okay. And if you want to get rid of any of these, you can click on the little red X's here on the right-hand side. If you close the window, it's already been applied. So all you have to do is close the window. It's already here. And then if I want to get rid of some from here, I can do that as well. And just leave action and adventure. It's probably fantasy as well, but now that is a category field. That is, the webmaster has already set up the large umbrellas for you. And this is a perfect example of a category. If we look at imdb.com and we look at like most popular by genre, webmasters can easily, for this type of content, say every movie has to either be A to Z, action to Western, one of these. There is no other main umbrella for a movie. If you upload a movie, it's got to be one of these. That's a perfect use of a category. Now, is there ever going to be a page on imdb.com that has history, all about what is the word history? No, it's assumed that everyone on the front end knows what history is, knows what sci-fi is, knows what romance is. Perfect. That means it only needs to be a one-word label, right? That's perfect use of a category. But do webmasters know everything about the content? No. You, the content contributors, do. So in addition, okay, that's fine. You give me this large, big umbrella. I have to make it one of those types of movies. Perfect. Action, adventure, fine. But as a content contributor, what you should, always, where it's appropriate, fight for is that your webmasters also give you a tag field. So you can say, you know what? Yes, it's action, it's adventure, but it's also Marvel Comics, comma. It also has Groot. That's just a joke. That's not a good idea of a tag, but anyway. It's also I don't know, space, or I don't know, whatever else you would want to add, so that front end users could not only click on the large umbrella category on the front end, like here, but they could actually go to the search and then find movies about space, or Groot, or Marvel, and that would also result in hitting this, even though Marvel isn't a large umbrella category, right? So the tags give the content publisher the ability to add new labels to the system apart from these large selected categories that are created by the webmaster. Now, can a webmaster just supply you with tag fields and say, you know what, tag fields are good enough, then let's just use tag fields only and not categories? That would be horrible, because then they would have to rely on everyone always typing the right word to get these filters by genre to be able to show up properly. And you don't want to rely on somebody typing the word thriller right. Somebody will type in an extra L or something like that. No. So if I wanted to add thriller here, I just click on the selected categories and I click on the right, the right one, and it's going to add it perfectly every single time, right? No spelling required, no typing required. This is just an additional, tag fields are just an additional way to micromanage those front-end search possibilities, so that the content, the person who's searching for the content on the front end can get to the right thing that they're looking for in the most granular way possible. So usually these taxonomies are used in combination, categories and tag fields together, to provide the best labels for any type of front-end filtering. And that brings me to, let me show you what relationships are and how you can add them. Okay, that's not really a taxonomy. It's like a data aggregation methodology. But to show you how powerful it is, this complete website that you're seeing here in dotCMS.com documentation is only one page. There are no other pages, just one, and a relationship with one content type. So it's just called documentation. And we relate each piece of content to another documentation piece of content. So there's literally, well over 1,000 pages of content here that, as you click through it, it's just one relationship after another, creating the whole hierarchy of tree. And it's just one content type married to itself. So relationships can be very, very powerful and run complete sections of your site, off of one little relationship. So let's go to an existing relationship, since your webmasters will do all that for you anyway. So let's go to content, and let's select employee. Okay, so content tab and employee. Okay, and click add new content. Okay, and don't worry about where it saves. System host is fine, and just add yourself. So I'm going to add Dean Gonzalez, title, and sure, and there's not too many required fields, so you can just add a few. Okay. Now, sometimes your webmasters will do something mean like this, which I do think this is mean. It's not nice. And put your relationships on a separate tab, which there would be no way for me to know that I was supposed to relate myself to a location somewhere in the world, an office somewhere in the world, unless I actually already knew about it and clicked up here on relationships to see that I can choose a location or an office somewhere in the world to relate myself to. Okay, and then I could click relate, and then I could click search and find some office in the world that I am in and relate. So let's do that. And I am going to say that I am in South America, even though I'm in Central America, but that's as close as I could get. Oh, that's funny. Whoever actually added this piece of content, I'm not accusing anybody, Jason Smith, but I'm not accusing anybody, but they confused Central and South America, thinking that Costa Rica was in South America. Americans. We just.
Hey.
I am American too. Believe me, I know. Sorry, it was my years as a high school teacher. Oh, just doesn't work. Okay, so my format is wrong on my, oh yeah, because I'm not in, so it's thinking American format, yep. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so you add an employee to the system, and you do this relationships thingy. There is a better way. So let me show you a better way. I am going to add what the nice webmasters do. Add a new field called a relationships field. And I'll just call it related content. And put that right over here somewhere. And now whenever we go to content and we go to your, edit yourself again, now you'll see it's right here, right in the middle. There's no more relationships tab up here, and it's real easy to add. So if I delete that, I can just click the little red X to the left and, get rid of the location. And then I can click relate right from here, and then it's all on one, and then I just click search, find my, location and add. And if there was more than one location and it was allowed, but the webmaster said in the relationship rule, it said you can only add one. So if you look, it's enforced and I can't add that I work out of more than one office at a time. But if the webmaster wanted to, they could allow me to add multiple other pieces of content that I would be related to. And this can support multiple relationships. So I could be related to movies too. If, it could be related to whatever other content type, and they would all list here.
So Dean, I thought, and I'm looking kind of at Leonardo too, I thought that you could only have one relationship field per content type, and after that it had to go in the tab.
You only have one relationship field, that's true. But the one relationship field, so I'll show you real quick. So I'm going to add, let's see, add a new relationship. So if I add a new relationship from employee, and let's say employees are stars of movies, and I would probably do that the reverse way, movies to employee, and one to many, many to many, and parent required. I'll leave it a nice easy relationship. Okay, so now if I go, I went ahead and created that relationship. So now I go to me, or you could refresh if you're already there. Now there's one relationships field is handling both of these relations. Okay, so now I can relate myself to movies, and I can search, and because I left it a nice loose relationship, I can relate myself to as many movies as I want. Okay. So if somehow in Content Architect I had given the impression that you couldn't have more than one relationship on a content type, then I was wrong. You can't add more than one relationships field. That's true. We only have one on this content type, and it handles all of the relationships.
Okay. So we couldn't have it ordered the way we want. They'll just all be clumped together.
Right.
Right. All of the relationships would be in that section.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we could add a visual indicator that, relationships, and then have them all below.
Now,
right. Or we can keep them in the separate tab.
And if that really bothered you, there's always a way around. I could just add to the content type, I could add a custom field and pull any related movie I want in any custom field, and then allow it to be selectable in a custom field, because that's basically what we're doing behind the scenes with this relationships field. So you could add multiple custom fields if it really bothered you that they're all clumped together here. You could add multiple custom fields, and I mean, I myself, a very light programmer, have done that several times, and pulled other content types in so that you could select them and everything. It's really easy to do.